You go through so much and you heal, you can recognize game from a distance. And it's an opportunity to do it over, to do better, to recognize familiar spirits, but also to come to an end of yourself. Coming to an end of yourself from any habit or foul spirit or any character flaw, any degrading habit or act, coming to the end of it. God is approving it. The warfare that you have to fight, that you purge and have to go through to release it. Because if you go to the end of it and you go to God with it, He's not focused on the problem. He's focused on recognizing who you are as you're rising up. There's no such thing as going to God and He's not revealing who He is and also not revealing who you are. There's no such thing. The warfare is intense because the calling is deep and the healing is needed and the purpose is big. Purpose and healing goes hand in hand. The more you heal, the more you can guard your heart from anyone that has a foul spirit, that don't want to heal. It's not to put them down, but they got some work and accountability they have to do on their part from everything they participate in. But when you let God come in, where He can have room to speak to you about individuals and be serious about healing, that's when all kind of hell breaks loose. It's a distraction. It brings in pain. It brings in suffering because it doesn't want one to focus on God. It doesn't want or support us healing. Foul spirits. Foul spirits that participate in corruption. Foul spirits that participate in manipulation. Foul spirits. I'm not naming people because I was a part of it at one point in my life. And I had to purge from it. I had to detach. And the warfare will become so severe. I will cry or look up to God like, God, I don't love this that much. Why is it so severe about this? And then He started to show me the stronghold in people who have the same spirit. Satan and these foul spirits hop from person to person. If anyone goes through trauma, abuse, neglect, rejection, I dare you to face the end of it. No matter how long it is, how long it takes, there's so many blessings and breakthroughs that you have to discover that's in the longer route. It's annoying, it's nerve-wracking. The world supports getting it fast, but the world uses satanic tactics and agendas and narratives. And these same individuals who use these narratives, they lost track of their soul. There's no room to judge them, but let them hang by the very string and manipulation that they operate out of. Let them hang themselves with it. All based off of who you answer to, who you look up to, who you depend on, and how many times you had to go through the end of yourself. I had to deal with coming to the end of myself through depression, where I thought I was going to lose my mind. I had to come to the end of myself when I was doing inappropriate things and around foul people, wrong environment. I had to come to the end of myself when I was in addiction. I'm not the one to judge nobody. I've been saying it for the longest. They have a higher worth. That will fulfill them. And if they choose not to operate out of that and from that, that's their choice. But ain't no devil hell gonna stop me from operating in mine. I've seen what it's like at those dirt end roads. You thinking you fooling somebody. Oh, I could get high, get drunk as long as I want. Keep on living. Nobody's happy down there, no matter what environment, no matter, oh, it's just the city, or it's just this time. No, it doesn't matter. No one's really happy. No one's really fulfilled. But they'll play on the illusion like they're fulfilled, they're happy, they're content. If they're content, why give so much room to self-destruction? I wish I would have asked myself that. I wish somebody would have asked me that when I was in my own issues, in my own gunk. But I didn't have the heart to face fear, and I didn't have a heart to face each issue, the end of it. Face it. Give it to God. I mean, give it to him and not add on more self-affliction, not add on more drama in the environment. Really, really give it to him. Oh, give it to him. It's not a faith. It's not just faith. It's actually works. I'm saying I'm going to give myself to you because you were there at my end. In each stage of my life where I dealt with multiple scenarios, situations that were deadly. But if you ride you get on the bus, you get a ride from the party train, it's going to lead you to a dirt end road. And it's going to bring more affliction where one didn't learn lessons. But if you go to God, even in your wrong, he highlights the lessons. He shows it to you. He shows you why he says what he says in his word. I remember some time ago I prayed, God, I want to grow more with your spirit. I want to grow more with your spirit. And little did I know what that means. What does that mean? You're going to see all kinds of spirit that's not godly. Because he highlight those things. Because these are the things he don't like. But this is where the conflict and the drama and the confusion, the heartache and the pain, pain and all those things start from. It start from the spirit realm. How can you not have no insight of the spirit realm? You have a relationship with Most High. You should be so advanced. I remember many years I would say I love him, but it would be a mask I would wear or being lukewarm. You know, I wouldn't go out and commit bold sin, but I still committed a sin that it bothered my path, and I couldn't really be sold out to him. I'm not saying for a lot of people to be on my level. No, do so much better than me. Do what you can and heal. It's not about comparison. That's what the enemy wants. Heal so you can recognize your enemy that don't want you to heal. That's where the real warfare starts at. Starts at home. But when you make up in your mind that you're not going to let God go, and whatever changes that you have to make quickly or in the long haul that you have to embrace, my God, there's support for you. But that's a heavy adjustment of who you are. You have to respond to very carefully. That's your calling, and that's your identity, your purpose. Very important. Because those very three things will help you win warfare if you obey and listen to the Spirit of God. That's in alignment with your conscience. That's in alignment with your intuition. And that's in alignment with just natural support of who you are and your well-being. So also confidence. Let's make you forward. Some of these tactics are not even alignment with the things, because people say, well, oh, this is what part of your karma, the things you do to people. I don't abuse people. I don't steal from people. I don't belittle people. And I ain't about to put up with it this lifetime. I promise you I'm not. There's several ways of devaluing and demoting the enemy of his power. There's several ways to do it. You don't have to be verbal either. But the same people will judge me when this so-called karma comes. Would it be the same people when I was living right didn't want me to even be living right? So the mask of people pleasing, I'm gonna throw that away right now. In these moments that I go through intense warfare. That's another key moment. That's another key highlight. When you go through warfare, reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself and rediscover your strength, your willpower, your mental power, your physical power. Rediscover it. Rediscover it. Set a goal not to just heal, not to just expose the enemy, but to also get in your correct placement of alignment. Because that's what the warfare is for. That's what the warfare is for. So you can recognize any spirit, any foulness, any corruption from the spirit realm first. So when those problems come again, you know how to pull the plug before it manifests in the flesh. You know how to pull the plug. You know how to respond to it. You know how to also, you know how to heal. You know how to grow in your strength. You know how to get empowered. There's multiple things you can do, but when you put them all together and grow, oh, you become a powerhouse. You become a powerhouse. When you heal and not give the enemy back the destruction they gave you, but grow in your willpower. That's what the destruction is there for. See, they want to send out destruction to create a demise or create one to be broken, but they don't want to be revealed, because the moment they reveal, it's annoying. It's irritating their flesh. But can you imagine what is it doing to that foul spirit that's on over them? The tactics that sent at me is from folk who constantly abuse others that abuse power as well. I could read through the actions, from their actions of it. I'm like, wow, I be chilling for real, you know. I'm not bothering nobody. Like, you reaching if you want to destroy me, and all the hell I went through to heal. God bless your soul, sweetheart. You gonna need Most High even more so to break away from those demonic spirits that's taunting you, that's harming you, that's blocking you from healing. I don't wish that on nobody. But you can't put the focus on the enemy. Or even if they make them, they can make themselves feel better and say, I'm an enemy to them. I'm an enemy to them. But if I'm an enemy to them, I should be getting exactly what I put out back. I know I'm everywhere with this, because warfare is spiritual, it's psychological. It's many areas where the enemy attacks. Many areas. Your character, your flaws, your habits, your hobbies, your friendships, your character, your mindset, your goals, your feelings, your flesh, your your confidence, your many things he attacked, many things. But the more you heal, you get your willpower back. You get your will to live a sober life. You get your will to find happiness in the hidden that's not attached to this 3D realm. This 3D realm is decaying. It's dying. And it says it in the word. It will be a time where man thinking doing wrong will be right, and being right will be looked at as being wrong. But if everybody get accountability for the work they do, we don't got nothing to prove to nobody but God. We don't have nobody even worthy to prove to but God. I had to deal with the inner myself when I was homeless on the street. Oh, the wouldas, the shouldas, the couldas. Oh, it was flooding my head. And it was this anger. It was this anger of I shouldn't never been here. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Imagine being treated like a straight criminal, and folk constantly lie, but they don't want one to be solid and accountable for their own actions, and neither do they want themselves to be accountable for their actions. They wear a mask. There's only room on this earth in groups. Anytime I see a group, I automatically it's a no, because I know it's some type of form of narcissistic tactics and characteristics and opinions and a wicked control in a group. Satan used groups because he knows his power is limited and not real. He used the flashy, shiny things. He used greed. He used control. He'll use those things. But it started off from the spirit realm first. Meaning people got to be careless first to attract that foul spirit in and ignore their conscience, their higher self, on purpose to participate in wickedness that's going to bring on self-affliction and then affliction on others. Put it in your mind to see what the end gonna be. Put it in your mind that God is with you, no matter where you are, no matter where you go through, no matter how many people lie on you, no matter how many people reject you, no matter what it is, but heal to stop self-affliction. Heal to have boundaries of self-control. You can't stop abuse from others who operate out of foul demons if you can't control and operate out of your own. It starts from home. It starts from you. Start from self. So every time I'm around someone that's manipulative, I naturally regulate myself. I reflect on what I was doing before they came in my presence that was important, that still need my attention for me to carry through. Because I never was a thirsty or desperate individual that would stop my path to entertain anyone who's coming to converse. No, that is a spirit of manipulation. That's a spirit of being nosy, and that's a spirit wanting control, wanting to steal one's power. If you have 2 or 3 or more enemies, you have to discover God's power, because you have power to walk with. It's not a physical fight, it's a spiritual fight. It's where it starts from. If you can't solve it and see it in the spirit, you're not going to be able to get solutions for the physical. You're not going to be able to handle it. It's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be too much. But imagine, every time you go through warfare, some type of corruption, or brokenness, or emptiness, or lack, heal. Heal. When you heal, your purpose is right in front of you. This is something I discovered. Or maybe God reminds you of your purpose when you're in when you're at your low place to inspire you to get up. But I kid you not, warfare is about getting up. It's about growing. It's about healing. It's about evolving. It's not about the enemy. It's about discovering the greater is he that's in you to discover who you are, and then the purpose of living, and then the joy in finding that purpose and within God and within yourself is in the hidden as well. See, if an enemy is a true enemy, they wouldn't participate in tactics. They'll be consistent with it around the clock. They don't have that kind of energy to operate that way because the power is going to be draining. They're going to drain themselves. I'm talking about the spirits. I'm not talking about people. People have their own agendas. Satan participates in tactics in the moment. Even when Pharaoh, when he was attacking the children of Israel, he was attacking them in moments. He couldn't do it consistently, 24 hours a day. But the spirit Pharaoh entertained. The spirit Pharaoh entertained, it was of ego and pride. That gets a thrill off of flesh. They get a thrill off of creating hardships and pain onto others' lives that they think they don't have to answer for. What a hell of a wake-up call. When you see one's healing and purging, and every time you attack them, they have some type of recovery and healing about them, what do you think you're going to have to go through? And who do you think you're going to have to answer to? I'm not talking out of the side of my neck. I'm just saying you can't make one experience something they already experienced before. They're going to be more advanced in healing if they're serious about healing. Example, if I already was homeless and dealt with that and have to go through that again, I'm going to find a way to recover, bounce back, and be confident and happy every day, every moment that I go through that and recover, because I know the end gonna be better. There's recovery and healing even in the midst of it. Now that's for the physical. Now let me bring it to the spiritual side of it. If you're serious about healing, you acknowledge there's a healing virtue over you. We all have this ability. This is not a mystery. This is clear as day. When you examine the body, you get a cut. There's a healing virtue within the body. So that healing virtue is also connected to the spirit realm. And it's connected to that grace God has over you. When he knows you go through warfare. He knows you experience foul spirits that you wasn't wise enough to acknowledge. You wasn't strong enough to have boundaries up against it. You didn't have not much of a willpower to ignore it. But he give you grace because he wants you to heal. And recognize where that healing comes from. That healing virtue comes from the Spirit of God. And after a while of healing, you can't help but acknowledge the presence of God in your life. The presence of God reveals false narratives, false spirits, familiar spirits. He reveals corruption. He reveals everything that doesn't line up with the spirit of truth. The opposite effect of being a bag lady or being a bitter black woman would to be healing. It's to get back in the flow of the healing virtue that's within and all around you. But if you attach to wickedness and foul spirits, the Spirit of God can't speak to you. He'll look at what you're going through and see those foul characteristics or those foul spirits or those foul ways and say, you need to heal and walk in your truth. Because if you can't walk in your truth, how can you heal? If you don't recognize your own ways and separate from it anything that's in alignment with wickedness, how can you heal? Because when his wrath comes, it's bold. I was listening one day to a pastor preaching. I think that's when I was at work at the job site. I don't know which one, but I heard the man of God says the word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword, and I don't think necessarily it's just speaking on the word of God. I'm thinking he's talking about from what he's saying in the spirit realm as well. Because when he speaks with truth, there's no lying and there's no backing down on that. That's something that's confidence you can have in, and you will want to get on his side, because when his wrath come through, if he's bold, when he speaks truth to you, can you imagine when he comes through with wrath? I don't want to imagine. But many times I experienced it. And I had to come to the end of myself of saying, this is it. I can't participate in wickedness no more. I can't participate with the wicked people no more. I can't even participate being lukewarm. When you participate in lukewarmness, there's a grace that's over you, but it's not revelations and downloads God give you that you meant to have, you meant to experience. but healing. Wake it wakes up many areas of your life that is dull, that is weak, that is foul, and it puts structure, order, and motivation to be disciplined. Healing. Healing. To me, what is healing like? It's a daily activity of, God, I want to make peace with you. God, forgive me of my sins. God, heal me. God, renew me. Whatever lesson this day I need to learn, help me accept the lesson. Help me to purge from any wickedness that's within me that gets me away from your presence and you away from my life. Help me to seek you. Help me to recognize how you view me as well. Sound like a prayer, but if you constantly have those actions and that heart motive for that and that mind for that, it looks like a mess before it gets to be a blessing. It looks like chaos before it gets clean. And that's because the enemy is attacking one when you're not able to see from the spirit realm. You got to heal to see things from the spirit realm. You get your confidence in your self-esteem assured and validated. You putting your trust and confidence in God. So every time you go through warfare, you go to God with it, and you stay on your post. After a while, you see what the fight is for. You see what the battle is for. You see what the enemies are for. They're there because you're going through transitions. And it's hard on the flesh. It's hard on the body. But if you're able to heal, you can see it in the spirit realm. I would love to speak on how to hear from God for a brief moment. People say, well, if you can hear from God, you can't treat him like a genie with what you requesting. You got to be on one accord with his motives, his heart space, his law. You got to be on one accord with him. You got to make peace with him. So that's advanced healing that comes about for you to be able to hear. I mean, actively, regularly hear. I remember when I was about maybe 8, between 5 and 8, I want to say, I would go through some problems I was having. And It made me pray. It made me broke down and pray. And I didn't understand it. What was the real issue, the real factor, the real reason behind warfare, of the attack, of the rejection, of the trauma or abuse? I didn't understand it. You know, like any other child, you don't want to experience that. So I remember the Spirit of God telling me, it's about purpose. And it's about how much I love you. And it's about how much I called you. He calls those who are in hardships and broken places to attract those who are also in broken places and broken spaces. It's oh, Lord have mercy. Whew. But to hear from him, your motives and intentions gotta be sincere, gotta be genuine. And that's through time, being consistent, not changing no matter what environment you're in, not changing, switching up no matter who's around. Not wanting attention and direction for fame and greed. No, that doesn't attract him speaking to you. But what will attract him speaking to you is you having genuine motives of what you're asking about. The genuineness in that will attract him to speak to you. Our pain is not necessarily our pain, because people go through similar circumstances or similar warfares or go through similar abuse or trauma, but it's still very, very similar. It could be different stages of their life, but it's still very similar. But it needs to be addressed on who's sinning in it, who's participating in it, who is brainwashing souls in how to perform and act based off of already manipulation of wickedness. You go through several warfares. There's a grace over you, and there's a Spirit of God you have to encounter. The presence of God, you have to encounter it. This is the only thing that will break all that corruption, confusion, division, wickedness, foul spirits, and from it manifesting. That's the only thing that will clear it up. So, at a young age, I didn't recognize that. All I knew was I didn't want to experience this. I wanted to be almost perfect like my siblings. In my eyes, I think they're perfect. They didn't have as much problems as I did. The closer you are to God, the more warfare you go through. The closer you're meant to go to, the closer you are meant to be to God, the warfare is gonna be there. But when you heal, the Spirit of God starts to speak more. He starts to reveal more truth that you can handle. How much truth can you handle? How much healing can you maintain? How much can you embrace? It's not in the moments. In the moments, it will harm us. It will overwhelm us. But it's this whole lifetime while we on earth that the grace of God and the presence of God is so rich that He wants to show off His healing virtue within oneself. Could it be that the warfare on purpose is to stop one from answering the call to hear from God? Yes. Because hearing from God is rich. It brings richness to your spirit. It brings healing to your mind. It brings love to your heart. It's rich. He's rich. He's oh, I love him. Not even just rich, but powerful as well. Thoughtful as well. Helpful as well. So if I could go back and do my life over again, I would have stayed closer to God instead of entertaining any distraction, participating in any trauma, any abuse, would have never delved into addictions, would have stayed on the path. Because there's so many encounters, so many awakenings, so many prophetic words, so many guidance He gave me, even when I wasn't worthy. Even when I wasn't on the right path, He still gave me warnings. What those warnings were. Those warnings created fear. I fear Big Homie. Okay? That's who I fear. That's who deserved that fear. When God gives you a warning and you acknowledge it and you can see before it manifests, you can see, oh my God, this is true. When you confuse what God's speaking to you, ask Most High to reveal Himself. And also denounce any foul spirit, any familiar spirit out of your path, out of your mind, out of your heart, out of your way. But when He brings warnings, I had warnings before. In my adult life. And they was not pleasing. They wasn't pleasing. Which gave me the Lord's kick in my butt that God wasn't pleased with what I was doing. So imagine if you take heed to the warnings and before it manifests, you really getting hip onto game from the Spirit of God because He loves you. Imagine if you get closer to Him and get on the right path with Him, make peace with Him. Imagine what much more He would tell you. He's not gonna give you warnings. He gonna want to walk. He will want you to walk with truth. Take ownership of your own truth. Take accountability and honor the Word of God with walking with the word of truth. I remember getting so many downloads, so many as a kid, and I have dreams about moments in this era right now. This era is so intense right now. And I'll wake up saying, God, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I didn't want it to know because I was so overwhelmed by my own trauma and operating or abuse from fear. When you heal, you're able to embrace truth no matter what it is. So there's no enemy trying to keep you captive by fear or by depression or by loneliness or by abandonment or by rejection. Those are spirits. Or it start off in the spirit realm, should I say. But they are spirits, though. And those who have battles with those, if they don't heal without realizing their stronghold is operating their life. And I made up in my mind, if there's so much grace over me, where He's making sure I have the basic necessities, there's a grace over me, where He's guiding me, protecting me. Let me get right with Him. Let me get real and right with Him. Forget people. Forget trying to prove a point. Forget all that. All that is pointless. Let me get right with God. So your healing virtue attracts the prophetic virtue. Your healing. There's a grace already over you. You probably don't acknowledge it. You probably don't see it till trouble or trauma or hardships or something threatening your life that comes in and tries to threaten you. But there's a grace over you. That's love from God, that He cares about you and that He has great plans in store for you that the enemy can't take, but he sure enough can attack if you let him. And if you don't heal, he gonna keep on attacking. But what great use would you put all those moments of trauma and abuse and study your enemy? Study him from the spirit realm, identify those spirits, heal from it. Identify your enemy of the flesh, Heal from it. Learn psychology. Learn narcissistic abuse. That's what the enemy loves to use. Sometimes standing your ground and saying nothing is more than arguing. I had to remember that. And once I remember that, I'm like, wait a minute. I want to keep my own good energy for me, because those who operate out of good energy, they automatically want to bring a match of your good energy. But those who wear a mask, they can do that for so long. And it grinds their gears the more they wear it. They actually get pleasure of taking the mask off and being wicked or deceiving or deceptive or manipulative to your face. And want to devalue you to your face, to your core. But if you never give no one that kind of power, that I'm not giving away my energy, I'm not giving away my motive, I'm not giving away my goodness, I'm going to give you room where you got to be accountable for your own works, your own actions, your own happiness, your own joy, your own confidence. It says it in the word, to test the spirit by the spirit. So if you're testing the spirit of God, if that's really him speaking to you, then he will want you to test also the spirits of people that come in connections and communications of you. Another download hit me a couple of days ago. It's like Most High just put him firm. Again, bold. Like, extremely bold. Stop arguing. Stop going back and forth with people who are not bringing solutions in their own life. Who are not trying to heal in their own life. There'll be people who will create conflict and drama and want to give off an illusion like one is the problem, but they want their problems to stay hidden. They want their manipulation to stay hidden. It's a sweet spot they love to be in, but you can't be in that spot long, because you're going to get in the hot seat eventually. Your ways going to catch up to you, 1. 2, your own demons you entertain going to start abusing you. 3, you're going to yearn for relief from it. That's why I talk about those dirt end roads, those dead end lifestyles, habits, relationships or situationships, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is that's not lined up with the word of God, with the spirit of God. The world says, well, oh, you can hang out and it's cool hanging out. How cool is it to get prophetic words from someone that really loves you and that guides you, and see greatness within you, and you can see his works and it's around you, that's within you? That's cool. That's, excuse my French, that's top tier for me. I can't even describe it, but the word cool can't even match. of how powerful God is and how powerful He wants people to be. But if you don't heal, you can't recognize that's a tactic from enemy that wants you in a downward spiral so he can have control. The more you heal, the less control the enemy has over you. Again, I ain't talking about people. I'm talking about Satan. So it's many points in this message, but God approve of the enemy attacking you, or God approve of that trauma, so you can heal from it, so you can recognize Him. Because when you do, and you get on that path, there is a healing virtue you must discover. And it attracts everything that you need and want. Well, not want, but it's everything that you need. Everything that's going to bring fulfillment. I don't want to say want, because these wants these days are out of hand. It's out of boxes. Oh gosh, I got capsules on my hand. So there's no regret in anything that one will go through if you heal from it. You take lessons from it. You can look back on any struggles you have and say, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I participated in that. But I had to come to the end of it. I had to see myself, had to recognize my environment, had to see everyone's part in being wicked, including mine. But I had to accept my own truth and heal, and also heal my relationship with Most High and keep Him first. If anyone has battles, who have a past, who got some issues, who have some things in their life and they're not perfect, and it's a constant battle of getting up, staying up, you got something great forward to look forward to. You got something great on the inside of you. You have something great around you. You got a great purpose. You got a great calling. You got a great assignments. You got great identity. You got a heavy greatness within you that through time gotta manifest it, because it's so big. He gonna show off His work in you if you can heal and face Him. God is gonna make way for glory to happen and to manifest in your life. And that is more than a heartfelt moment. That is a lifetime of love. Genuine, real love and guidance and protection from his spirit, from his thoughts, from his heart motives, from his words, from who he is, and from his word. If I could do it over again, I would have never went through the wrong path. But somehow the wrong path awakened what I'm supposed to do. I can't really explain it, but it somehow, it naturally awakens up what one's supposed to be doing and who one is. Who are you? Your enemies will know it. The spirit of your enemies will know it. I'm not talking about the physical realm. It's pointless to talk about it. It's exactly how I look at trauma. It's pointless to hold on to it. Heal. That's what freedom is. That's what that love is. You can make room for God's love to come in, manifest in your life that you deserve, that I deserve, that we all deserve. Not holding on to that trauma. When God starts to reflect and remind me that a lot of people got a lot of accountability in their own healing with making peace with God, I got clean. I got my hands clean real fast. Real fast. I got my heart clean. And fight every day to keep it clean. Every day to keep my mind clean. Anything that's not lining up with him and that joy, I'm not feeding into it. As a child, I had ADD, and as an adult, I have ADHD. So if it's something I'm interested in, my attention span is going elsewhere. So it worked out well for me.